Hi again, folks. I'm Greg Flynn, the Public Information Director for the City of Pearl, and welcome in to this edition of This Week in Pearl. On this week's show, we are stacked with some great news. We're going to talk about some city accolades as we named our officer and our city employee of the month, some well-deserved promotions within the fire and the police departments. We're going to go inside the state legislature as there are some hot topics ongoing now, certainly what's going on with COVID in our state and redistricting that will affect our congressional and our legislative lines. We're going to talk to Senator Dean Kirby and our Representative Gene Newman about that. We've had a flurry of ribbon cuttings, and we want to take you to three of them in particular on this show, being the new Shoney's, a new church, and a new bakery. So that'll be very, very cool for you all to see as we want you to support those businesses here in the city of Pearl. We'll have that and more coming up on this edition of This Week in Pearl.
Hello, I'm Mayor Wyndham, and I'm thrilled to show you the city creating its own future. Pearl is located in Rankin County, the fastest growing county in Mississippi, and there's no question why. Access to great schools, even better shopping, and unbridled beauty make Pearl a town that truly embodies its name. And with a truly exceptional team of first responders, public safety is another key component of our success. With fantastic housing opportunities from quaint suburban neighborhoods to gorgeous lakefront properties, there's a place for you here in Pearl. You can't beat the location. Right outside of Pearl is the crossroads of the South, where Interstate 20 meets Interstate 55. From here you can travel anywhere within the state or the country. Or you can choose to stay right here in Pearl to enjoy a Mississippi Braves baseball game or experience the small town atmosphere, community pride, and heart of the local residents.
Well, as we start off this edition of This Week in Pearl, I want to start off with some accolades that were handed out at our board meeting this past Tuesday night. Our Officer of the Month is our investigator, Reynaldo Ray Olivo. He was instrumental in breaking up a car burglary ring here in and around the city of Pearl, and they were able to nab those guys. Ray, as he's known to everybody, is just a super officer, super professional, and he was surrounded by a lot of his colleagues there as he was honored as our Officer of the Month. Pearl Chamber of Commerce really showered him with a lot of well-deserved gifts from area businesses, members of the Chamber from around town. Our city staffer or employee of the month is Abby Childers. She works in our court services. She is our deputy court clerk over there at the police department as well. And man, she does a great job of organizing so many of the court records that we have, and is just a great resource. So we wanted to congratulate both Ray Olivo and Abby Childers, our police officer of the month and our city employee of the month, respectively. We also had some very well-deserved promotions that were announced at the board meeting. We're going to start with the fire department. And Blake Ball, congratulations, as he was promoted to captain at the fire department. Blake wears two hats. He is a nurse and also a fireman. And he has worked unbelievably hard at both and really put himself in danger, in harm's way, as we've gone through this COVID. Not only is he selfless with our fire department, but, you know, being a nurse, also dealing with patients all the time. So he doesn't get a day off from dealing with COVID, and very well deserved that Blake has been promoted to captain. Promoted to lieutenant is Nick Welch, and that name may sound a little familiar because it was just a few months ago that Nick was named our firefighter of the month. And man, these two guys just absolutely shined on the tests that they take to advance up in the ranks. And Nick really showed through, and he is going to make a great lieutenant for us over at the fire department. Over in the police department, well, we have a new sergeant on the streets today, as Tyler Lentz was promoted, and man, you couldn't find a more deserving guy. Tyler is super professional, so helpful to citizens, so courteous, and just really, really good at what he does. You know, as is tradition, you can see that his wife had the opportunity to give him his new badge and to pin the sergeant bars onto his collar at the staff meeting. Just a super job, and we're so excited when we can promote from within. So congratulations to Blake Ball, captain now at the fire department, Lieutenant Nick Welch, and to Sergeant Tyler Lentz over at the police department. Well, when we come back, we're going to go under the dome over at the state legislature and bring in our Senator Dean Kirby and our Representative Gene Newman to talk some very important redistricting things that they're working on right now and where we stand with COVID from a state perspective. So stay tuned. This Week in Pearl continues right after this.
Come find your taste buds at the Lost Cajun. Chef Charles is cooking everything to order. Cajun classics like gumbo, jambalaya, and red beans and rice. Pick your po' boy, shrimp, oyster, roast beef, or maybe gator. Proudly serving USDA farm-raised catfish. When you're done, loosen the belt up a bit for some homemade beignets. Dine in, take out, order online, and get it delivered. Reserve our party room for your group. Find your way to the Lost Cajun in Pearl and Byram.
Well, welcome back into This Week in Pearl. I'm Greg Flynn, the Public Information Director for the City of Pearl, and we're now going to be joined by our two distinguished gentlemen that represent our fine city, our fine county. Over at the legislature, we have Representative Gene Newman, Mean Gene as we like to call him, and, well, the elder statesman over here, Senator Dean Kirby, the pro tem of the Senate. How are you guys doing?
Busy.
Busy, Gene, you busy?
Busy, yeah, but not like him. They running him all over the state.
Yeah, we're going to get into what exactly Senator Kirby's been doing. Is he's been doing a tour of the state. But I would be remiss if we didn't start off by talking a little bit about the current situation of COVID in our state and how we're responding to it. The Department of Health very concerned, our medical facilities very concerned that we have no room at the inn, basically.
Yeah, well, first, Greg, thank you for letting us be here. We're breaking record after record after record. I mean, it's like 3 times last week, I think, as far as the number of new COVID cases, thanks to the Delta variant. But it's gotten serious. It's very serious, and the only thing I can do is encourage everyone to get their shots. Representative Newman and I both have had our shots, and we've also both had COVID. So we understand. Fortunately, neither of us had to go to the hospital. This new variant is quite different from the first. First off, it's attacking the younger people a lot more. Even my grandchildren now have been vaccinated. My youngest is a 13-year-old granddaughter, and she's had her shot. I encourage everyone to do it. At our hospitals now, there's just no room, as you said. We're out of space. UMC, they opened up a clinic basically in the hospital garage, and now they're opening up another one, I think. So we're going to have 2 there. It's mass numbers, and we need to do our best to help get it under control.
Gene?
The sad part about this is that not only is the hospitals full of COVID-19 patients, another real problem that we're having is that if you have a heart attack, if you have a car wreck, anything else goes wrong, and they put you in an ambulance and go to take you to a hospital, hospitals are turning people away. A friend of our family's in Memphis had a health issue, and the ambulance picked him up. They went to 3 different hospitals, and they died on the way to the 4th in the ambulance. Folks, we may not know what's going to happen years to come because we took this vaccine, but I can tell you what may happen if you get COVID-19. I've had it, and I had pneumonia with it. I know how bad it is, but I can tell you, you may die. And just because you're 20 or 30 years old, that don't make any difference. Go take the vaccine, please. We know the result. We're seeing the results too many places, too many times. I had a friend die last night from COVID-19 that would not get vaccinated. Please do something about it.
You know what's, and we understand. I mean, this is We're all about this state, especially. We have very conservative values. We're all about personal freedoms, and everybody is free to do, what they want to do. They're not going to force anything on anybody. It's voluntary. If you want to get the vaccine, you get the vaccine. If you, as the governor states, if you want to wear a mask, you wear a mask. There's some places that are requiring masks, like schools, again, just to make sure we get through. But what's really, I think, a little concerning is that you have a lot of folks, I'm not going to say a majority, of those that are unvaccinated that don't want to do anything. And I think that's what is really causing, some heartache for a lot of folks, is because we can't slow it down if you don't take any precautions.
Well, that's right. And also, you say, well, I've already had COVID, I've already had the vaccine, I'm not going to get it again. Well, you can get it again. But with the vaccine, and if you've had COVID, more than likely, if you're not going to get as sick and be in the hospital. Matter of fact, I heard Dr. Dobbs make the statement that a lot of people now have COVID and don't even know it, but they're spreading it. Because of the fact that they don't know is only because they've had the vaccine. Had they not had the vaccine, they could have very easily been in the hospital.
And it's, Gene, as you mentioned, so many people that are getting it now. It's the people that are unvaccinated, and we're lucky enough to escape the first wave without getting COVID, that now the bodies are getting the Delta variant, and they have nothing to fight it off.
That's right, and this Delta variant so much more lethal, it seems to be, especially to younger people. I just keep hearing too many. I know I heard 2 days ago of a 32 or 33-year-old pregnant female who was, the baby is at 34 weeks. She's got COVID. They're having to take the baby, and they don't know whether she's got pneumonia on top of it, and they don't know whether she's going to survive it. It's just, please take the vaccine. I don't know what's going to happen behind it, but take it, because I can tell you what's happening if you don't take it.
Well, and also, whether you're vaccinated or not, and we encourage everybody to get the vaccine. You're looking at 3 gentlemen up here. I'm not speaking for everybody, but we've all been vaccinated and have no side effects, at least, to this point. Right. And I've had it months ago. You guys got vaccinated months ago. So we've been vaccinated. I don't think the government's tracking us. I don't think that, I've had no ill effects, and, I'm at 49 years old. You guys are a little bit older. You've had no real side effects from it.
No.
So.
No. I mean, when I first took it, because I still had a lot of antibodies from having had COVID, I did react to it. I felt bad for a day. I think it was like 36 hours and I was fine. But, I reacted to it for that. But it was just a normal kind of reaction to being a little bit sick again, but then it was over with.
Yeah, same with me. For like 24 hours, I just didn't feel it. I didn't have the energy and that type of stuff. But was feeling really bad. I didn't feel really bad the next day. I just didn't feel normal.
Didn't feel normal.
For like one day.
All right, we can just encourage folks. We can't force anybody to do anything, but it is what it is. The numbers don't lie with who's in the hospitals and things like that.
That's right.
Well, we're going to shift gears a little bit, and something that's not life and death, but pretty contentious, as Senator Kirby has been responsible to leading the redistricting plans for our congressional districts and our legislative lines across this state. And that has been a challenge thus far.
The challenge just began, I think. We're actually the committee, House and Senate, joint committee. We're traveling all over the state. We've been to Meridian, Tupelo, Senatobia, Itta Bena, and Mississippi State so far. Going to Natchez tonight. Day after tomorrow, we're going to the Gulf Coast, and then the next day we're going to Southern, and then I think Monday of next week we have one in Jackson. And
it's really a listening tour is what you're doing now.
It's a listening tour, and Jim Beckett, who's chairman of the House Committee and the Joint Committee, and I'm vice chairman of the Joint Committee. We switch that every 10 years, House and Senate. and I'm working well with Beckett. He's a really good guy and very fair person. I like working with him. But yeah, he explains every time in his opening remarks that we're there only for congressional and legislative districts, not for city and not for county. They'll actually take our maps that after we draw them, and then they'll redo their precincts or wards or precincts in the city after we finish. So yeah, it's going to be a real challenge. We should have the preliminary. We have some preliminary numbers. We're going to have closer preliminary numbers today, actually. And so we haven't had any precinct numbers at all, and we'll have those today. So at that point, and after all these hearings that or listening tours, I guess you could call them, all over the state, then at that point, then we'll actually start redrawing the maps for legislative and congressional. We have to do, we're not in any great rush to do the House and Senate or the legislature yet. We'll have that during the session of next year. That will be voted on. But we're in a big hurry to do the congressional because, I mean, they have elections this next year. We don't have elections for 2 years. But people want to know if they want to run for office or they want to know who is going to run for office, one of the two. But anyway, we're going to have it. It's a real challenge. The House is more of a challenge probably so than the Senate, because the Senate, we only have 52 members, whereas they have 122. So, gosh, I can't imagine doing 122, because 52 I've been playing with and it's driving me crazy.
Well, and this is all based on the census data that's coming out, and we're getting that local data this week. So we will find out, you know, where the populations have shifted into cities or out of cities, into counties, out of counties, and it affects the whole shooting match.
That's right. If you look at the state map that we've received so far, pretty much everything west of I-55 has lost population in this state. And then everything east has gained. Mm-hmm. So we've had a population shift more than we've had a loss. Now we've lost, they said 6,000 people is what the preliminary estimate was, 6,000 people over a 10-year period. So, I mean, that's a lot of people to lose. I'd rather gain 6,000. We may have if everyone had sent in their census form.
And that's where? In what area lost 6,000 people?
The whole state.
In the whole state, statewide.
It just, yeah, and you know, that sounds like a lot, but that's like 600 people or like 250 families roughly a year.
Well, out of 3 million people we're talking about, roughly 3 million people here in the entire state.
That's right, 2,983,000 or something like that.
And the sad part about it is we may not have lost population. We just may have had people that wouldn't send the census forms in.
That's right.
Yeah. So to be properly counted, you know, we tried to make that big push that, hey, we're not after you. It's not Big Brother. You know, want to. We need to know who's living here and to decide what services we need for you, right?
Well, that's right. That's right. Now, the congressional is a one-person, one-vote deal. In other words, we have to, of all 4 congressional districts, we have to have those as close as humanly possible. I mean, it gets down to what precinct you have to move. They'll probably be within 50 people of each other as far as voters in each of the 4 districts. In the Senate and in the House or the legislature, we have a 5% variance that they'll let us have. So, I actually have it here. The House members should have, if I can find it, I've got it somewhere. There it is. Well, let's see. The Senate should have, with their 5% variance, we should have, well, let me back up. Should have about 56, almost 57,000 people each, 56,948 in each Senate district. And with the 5% variance, it's 2,847 people. So you're talking about anywhere from 54,000 to almost 60,000 in each Senate district. The problem we have in Rankin County is my particular district, District 30, will probably be in the high 60s, if not 70,000 this time because of the growth.
So I've got to carve some out.
I have to carve some out of mine to give, and can't give it to Josh Harkins, because Harkins is also going to be 70,000
He'll
plus
have grown,
in
for
North,
sure.
North Rankin and all. So, and then, so we have another senator now that has the rest of the county, the part that Senator Harkins and I do not have. But it's grown so much, but not, I'm afraid we're not quite large enough. I think we're going to be about 4,000 or 5,000 short of having 3 senators in Rankin. So we'll have to pull one from another area. Right now we have, and a really good senator, Senator Chris Kaufman from Simpson County comes up and gets South Rankin. So I don't know how it's going to work because his district grown so much too. We just got to put the puzzle together. You guys had that number. Do you remember what the number was? The variant, the 24 to 26,000 or
24,
something.
26,000, but in that range.
Yeah.
Well,
and he's probably Representative Newman's probably going to have above his amount, so he'll have to lose some of his district as well.
Because I guess we're anticipating, from all intents and purposes, the city of Pearl was listed on the last census at 26,000 and change. That's certainly going to be higher
That's going to be
this
higher,
time. We know that. So that just means that your district, I don't want to say will shrink a little bit, but it'll get carved out a little bit so that you can stay within the number.
Right. In other words, at some, and we don't know exactly where all the growth occurred, but yeah, I'm gonna have to shrink some in physical size just to get the number down.
It's, I guess, I don't want to call it an evil, but a necessary thing that some people might lose your representation as it gets carved out just because of where the growth may be in which part of town here, right?
But one of the things that I ran on was that I wanted to make sure that we kept a Pearl-only district, and I don't want to lose that because that's important to Pearl. I mean, so that's one of the things that I keep talking to the 2 chairmen about.
Well, hopefully we can keep you within that margin of error, that variance.
I can almost guarantee that's going to happen.
Well, I know that that's a big issue, but this is also the time. I know you've been very tied up with this, but for you, Gene, now's the time when you really kind of look forward to the session. What are the bills that you're going to be introducing? At least right now, do you have an agenda kind of laid out about the issues that you want to present?
Right. Well, we've been. I went with Chairman Weathersby, and we did I'm on a building management committee for the House, and well, it's actually a combined committee.
It's a joint committee.
It's a joint committee with the senators. But Chairman Tom Weathersby from down in Richland or Florence, we went all around Jackson and down to Natchez and Macomb and Brookhaven and those areas, looking at state-owned buildings like the state-owned buildings like the Mississippi Education building that's got a bunch of leaks in it.
Old Central High School.
The old Central High School, correct. And then Alcorn and just the different campuses, junior college campuses and stuff. So, trying to make those evaluations so the state has an idea of what needs to be fixed and what needs to be added. So we're doing that. We've done several Judiciary B Committee hearings and corrections hearings, trying to determine what, if any, changes we need to make to the criminal justice system that would help our corrections department. I got a hearing this coming Friday in Oxford with the Prosecutors Association. We're going to do a hearing up there with the prosecutors to determine changes that needs to be made for prosecutors want to have made. So we're doing that, and then just working with the folks that have issues that they want to see addressed. It may be something to do with the fixing. There's apparently a law that needs to be fixed that I've had a constituent talking to me about that needs to be fixed about being able to buy gold in Mississippi to be able to hold actual gold, and there's something that needs to be resolved with that law. And I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about, but we got lawyers that do, so we'll be working on that. But it's just a lot of different issues that And now is the time to do it. You can't wait till we get to session and say, well, why don't you do this? Well, it's too late at that point because you're up against deadlines.
Now is the time to lay the groundwork.
Now's the time to get the language right, get to work with the lawyers, get the language right, and get it ready to be introduced. Because once you get to the first day of the session, you're too late.
There's only time for tweaking at that point,
Right.
not creating at that point.
That's right.
Well, I tell you what, we started with COVID. I kind of want to bring it back full circle, and a positive sign that's come out of COVID, that you guys are once again going to have, it appears, a ton of infrastructure money that's coming in from the federal government, like it or not, but it's going to come, and you're going to have a great opportunity to really improve the infrastructure in this state.
We are, and the real problem that we're having right now with that is, well, first off, we've never had that much money, and we're going to have two appropriations. Basically, we're going to have one, our regular state appropriations, which our appropriations general fund bills about $6 billion that we got to give out to the state, or we get to give out to the state. We don't have to give it out,
Sure.
I guess, but and then also in addition to that, we got another, well, actually, we're $1.2 billion above estimate, so we've got a lot of money there just in state money, kind of related to the federal because of the COVID money or rescue money is the reason we've got so much, because people are spending money and we've got a lot more tax revenue. But in addition to that, we got another billion, over $1 billion that we give out to the cities and the counties, and so
Directly for infrastructure.
Yes. And, they're working on now trying to get it so that we can actually give it for streets. The way that it reads now is it can be for water and sewer. It can be for any infrastructure like that. And it can be for broadband. And there's one other thing, water, sewer, broadband, and, it can be to repay for any monies that they may have lost due to COVID. But that's going to be a real challenge. And, we have what we've told, and the lieutenant governor is really working hard on this, and what we told a lot of the cities and counties, if you have a big project and you're in your city or county, submit it to your legislator or get with your legislator, let them submit it, of course, and then it would, and we're going to try to match that. So that's, we got a lot of money right now, and we've never had that.
I know the mayor and board have been working very closely with you.
That's great. And, the lieutenant governor has said several times that we've got this money coming in. We don't just need to spend it. We need to do things that improves Mississippi for the generations, not just
That's right.
Not what's right in front of our face, but we need to prepare for the future generations, which we haven't been we have not done real well at that in the past. So if we can solve some long range problems and look forward to see what will be in the
That's
future, as best as we can, then we need to spend that money doing that rather than just projects that people have.
Well, I'll tell you what, since they still haven't finished, let's just go ahead and make Highway 49 6 lanes. It's still tore up, so.
Well, Greg, if I had my way on it, we'd have I-49 that went straight to the coast. We'd have an interstate highway. Obviously, I know that some business owners maybe on the highway might not on old highway like 49 may not like that, but it surely hadn't hurt Brandon or Pearl any to have an interstate.
Sure.
And I don't think it would hurt Richland or Florence or McGee or any of those other cities as well. But if we're going to really look in the future, that would be my pet project right there, is to have an I-49 and bypass all of that. So.
Well, it's a great opportunity, and what I love is having you guys in is because, a lot of folks think that legislators, they don't come in until January, and then they work till April, and then that's it. But no, it has been nonstop for you all, not only with this special redistricting that you're having to go through, but again, as you mentioned, just getting ready for the session.
Well, it's also, he's a pro tem. He's on all these different committees that he has to go meet to run the Capitol itself. Whether it's putting cameras in the Capitol or working on an elevator in the Capitol or whatever it may be, he has to go to all those different hearings. They're running him ragged. I mean, literally every time I talk to him, he's on the way to the Capitol for a hearing,
or on the way back,
or on the way back, but you're getting your money's worth out of him for sure.
Well, you can certainly see Gene Newman around town all the time, and forgive Dean Kirby. Because he is all over the state, and we wish you safe travels the rest of this week.
Well, thank you, sir.
As you finish up that listening tour, and we look forward to having you back after these numbers come out.
I'm not complaining about it because that's my job, and I love my job. But I am getting tired.
I have no doubt. If you happen to catch a rest in let's say September.
Yeah.
Maybe October, take a couple of days before, nobody will hold it against you.
And for a guy that loves to fish, I have not wet a hook.
Well, it's been too hot anyway. We'll wait till that weather cools off just a little bit. Well, gentlemen, I can't thank you guys enough. Again, everybody out there do what they can to stay COVID-free, right?
Yeah, let's be ready for Pirate football.
Pirate football, man. High school football.
I'm ready.
Coming up.
I'm ready.
August 27th, the opener. We're going to give you guys the schedule coming up here a little bit later in the show. But, yeah, they got a jamboree this Friday night. They're going to play a half against Gulfport. And then down in Petal, kind of a little warm-up just so that they're not hitting each other. And then, man, it gets started for real a week from Friday, a week from tomorrow, as they will be at South Pike.
Let's go.
And let's pray that COVID doesn't interfere with that.
Let us all keep it under control. Gentlemen, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Senator, best of travels.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You guys do a great job.
Well, thank you very much. We will be back with more This Week in Pearl coming up right after this.
WPBP and PMB TV would like to thank our latest sponsor, Dunkin Donuts. Dunkin Donuts is located at 403 Riverwind Drive. With over 32 different types of donuts, they can take care of your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can now choose from their menu of sandwiches, wraps, and muffins. And don't forget the drinks. Along with coffee, espressos, and lattes for your morning drive, they also have soft drinks, cold brew coffees, and smoothies. The Pearl Pirates run on Dunkin Donuts.
Well, welcome back into This Week in Pearl. I'm Greg Flynn, the Public Information Director here, and we want to kind of move into a Chamber of Commerce segment as we had a flurry of ribbon cuttings here recently and some very important businesses that have not only joined the Chamber but are opening their doors to you all. So we're going to start off by showing you the new Shoney's. Shoney's has had a rough go of it over the last few years over there on Pearson Road. They had a fire that shut them down, and then they had a grand reopening, and then they shut down again because of COVID. Then they just couldn't find anybody to work. Well, now they have reopened once again under new ownership, under new management. And so everything you knew about the old Pearl Shoney's is gone. And they're really trying to set themselves apart and to endear themselves to the community with not only lower prices, but just great service. So we encourage you to go check out Shoney's. And we actually had a chance to speak to their new general manager, which we're going to let you take a listen to right now. Well, we are here with the general manager of the Shoney's here in Pearl, Mr. Jonathan McBride. And Jonathan, I know this is an exciting time for you. I think one of the most important things that you were telling us about is that this isn't the Shoney's that you remember. This is truly a brand new whole mindset that you guys have here.
Correct. So here at Shoney's, we have revamped the menu, like I said, and so the menu have all the Shoney's favorites on it, as well as we have went down on the prices. The prices are now more affordable for all of our community here in Pearl. We went down the price so kids eat for $5 and then adults eat for $10. That's including a drink, and that's coming down from $20 before. We also have our menu items that nothing on our menu costs more than $12. Nothing. That's including steaks. We went down those prices to make it more affordable for everybody. And then we also have a new management staff here as well as new hourly team members. And we also have 53 more employment opportunities available here for people that's living in the community here.
So the whole thing is, if you've been to this Shoney's before, after it first reopened and it came back from the fire, put all that aside, because
it's all brand new now under new leadership.
Correct. And not just under new leadership, we're under new ownership. So, everything is different here. Nothing's going to be the same. Nothing's the same. We don't even have the same brand standards. And when we do our hiring process, it's not a, hey, you have the job. We go through an extensive hiring process to make sure you have the customer service skills that we need for our customer staff here, as well as for our manager staff. Our manager staff go through extensive 8-week training just on customer service, and then we go on a 12-week training just on menu items, learning how to cook the things. And so, it's a really different culture here from before.
And the food quality different because you while it's affordable, it's still great tasting now.
Correct. Everything here is made fresh every day. We don't get anything pre-cooked. Everything comes raw. So everything comes here like you would make at your house. So everything comes here freshly cooked every day.
One of the things that I think really makes you stand out here in Pearl is nobody else around here does a breakfast buffet. And, we have a lot of breakfast little spots and nooks, but nobody can come sit down and have a true breakfast buffet, the Shoney's breakfast buffet.
Correct. And our buffet here, we have that buffet 7 days a week. On the weekends, we have our buffet here until 2 o'clock for breakfast, and then we go into lunch. And at our buffet here, you also get unlimited pancakes. I know some of our competitors have unlimited pancakes. We have unlimited pancakes cooked to order. We have eggs any way you like them included in the buffet. We have bacon, sausage, grits, ham, everything that you would want in a breakfast is here.
Well, we need folks to come back out and is it fair to say just retry Shoney's and give you all another shot?
Correct. I can guarantee that if you come back and come to this Shoney's, you will love it. If you don't love it, it's free. I can guarantee you that.
That is a bold statement. Well, we wish you nothing but success. We look forward to seeing all the new things that you're having here, and especially all of these great young people that you have working for you. You need to get more workers, though, don't you?
We sure do. Like I said, we have 53 opportunities still available.
Kind of like everybody else, this whole COVID thing has really thrown a damper on things to try and get a good staff, hasn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Jonathan, we wish you nothing but success, and we know that you're going to do very, very well. So you folks need to come back out and give Shoney's a shot. It's brand new ownership, leadership, food quality. Come out and try Shoney's right out here on Pearson Road.
Man, we highly encourage you all to go give Shoney's a try because it is really, really changed, and for the better, I might add. All right, another ribbon cutting that we celebrated recently. The East Flow Church has new digs right now. They are now along Highway 80 in the old Renaissance Bank octagonal type building, and you could see on the inside there, it is absolutely beautiful. You would never know that that used to be a bank, and it is a wonderful looking church, not only with great seating for the people, the congregation, but man, what a beautiful baptismal area, music area, AV and technical support there. Man, we wish them nothing but the best of luck as East Flow has grown so much. I believe they said this is their third building in 3 years. And, they were over at the little old chicken outlet over off the Country Place Parkway off of Airport Road. Well, now they really look like they're getting a home. And we have so many great churches, and we look forward to East Flow really growing and bringing great things to our community because we all absolutely need it. Finally, we're going to take you over to I don't want to say sinful, but it's a lot of sugar, and boy, does it look like good stuff. Twisted Kitty Creations is a new bakery that is open very close to Pirate Cove. It's right on Highway 80, so if you're going eastbound on Highway 80, and right before you get to Pirate Cove, the turn to the high school, if you look off to your right there, you will see a little strip businesses right in there, and Twisted Kitty is right on the corner. As you can see, they've got some phenomenal items in there. Not only your traditional cupcakes and your traditional cakes, but they make cake pops every day, and their signature, look at that, I think it's the chocolate covered bacon. How can you go wrong with bacon? Twisted Kitty Creations, they're open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and they've got some really, really cool things for you to check out in there. So we encourage you to try it out. They're open for lunch if you're interested to go by their lunchtime, or, there's nothing wrong with just going by to pick up a box of cookies or some cupcakes. and a few cake pops, because I can tell you they are absolutely worth it. So we welcome all of those folks. Congratulations on the ribbon cutting, and a great job done over at the Pearl Chamber of Commerce by the Executive Director, Ms. Kathy Deere. When we come back here on This Week in Pearl, we will wrap things up, give you some reminders and ways to stay connected here in the city.
I'm Officer Kyle Carmerdale.
And I'm Officer Alfred Jenkins, School Resource Officer with the Pearl Police Department. And our job is to protect students.
Here in Pearl, we have zero tolerance for drivers that break school bus laws. There are 4 things to know. Stop at least 10 feet from the bus when it is loading or unloading. Don't move until kids have crossed the street to or from the bus. The flashing red lights are no longer activated. The stop sign on the side of the bus is retracted.
When we catch you, you get a ticket up to $750, up to a year in jail, or both.
Please pay attention so every student can get to school and home safely.
Well, before we go, we have a very important reminder to pass along to you. You know, school is back in session, and we are very fortunate that all of our kids are able to be learning in person at our schools. One thing we need to remind you about, though, is that school bus stop signs are not suggestions. When you see the red sign go out and the lights are flashing, please, please, please do not pass that school bus. We understand it is still a problem, that we are just 2 weeks into the school year, and we need folks to really be careful. There are cameras on those buses that are recording all the time, and so if you pass that school bus, you're caught on camera. When they catch you, it's not a question of if, but when they catch you going around a school bus, the fines are close to $1,000. You don't want to do that. Not only is you want to save money, but could you live with yourself if you hit one of those children? We want to make sure that they get to school and get home from school safely, and all it takes is slowing down for 30 seconds to stop behind the school bus, let those kids clear. In the grand scheme of things, again, 30 seconds delays your day, but it is the law to stop for those school buses. Hey, to stay connected here in the City of Pearl, we've got several ways. One of the best ways for you to receive city alerts right on your cell phone, we have a text alert service, and all you have to do is text the word Pearl to 91896. That's the word Pearl to 91896, and you will get immediate notifications if there's something big going on here in the city. Text message rates do apply, and we don't use them overly often, but when we do, it's because we have to get information out to you quickly, immediately, and to the masses. Anytime, you can go to cityofpearl.com, find answers to a lot of the questions you may have, a phone directory for all the city departments, a lot of frequently asked questions, and ways that you can apply for permits online, a lot of online services. So we encourage you to go navigate the cityofpearl.com. And for all of my social media users out there, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and we're on Instagram under City of Pearl Government. Well, that's going to do it for This Week in Pearl for this week. Hey, next week we're looking forward to, how about high school football being back? Pearl Pirates, we're going to see if we can't get our coach, Justin Hunter, in here to talk a little bit about the season opener, as we'll be going to South Pike down in Macomb on August the 27th. Until we talk again next time, remember, Pearl is a great place to live, work, and play, and we are the jewel of the crossroads.